Hi, kitties. So I just hopped on to the podcast because I know that I owe you all an episode. And this episode is going to be quite fun. I had to turn on Do Not Disturb because what I am doing as a girl that's in a relationship, going through just the technicalities of like a busy day from this is going to sound very Miami of me, but from yoga to double dates to night out, there is just jam packed. I'm getting my nails done later. I'm actually going to do my makeup as I do this episode, which is something I actually don't do a lot of. I'm not a big makeup person, but it's the day for it. I'm ready for it. But I want to add some value into my kitties' lives because we are that black cat. We are that really nice, intensive energy. Mystique, mysterious. We slow it down. Whew, I should be slowing it down. It was restorative yoga. But I am so excited for the entire day. So here I am. Nonetheless, most of you all have been thinking about black cat energy and how to apply it to your life, especially if you're a little bit more like me. As you can see, is I have blonde hair, I'm very light, I'm very airy. My name is Air after all. And I had to train myself to be the black cat energy. If you fall into that category, or if you are already naturally very black cat energy, but want to explore your white cat energy, your feminine light side, this is for you too. So, first and foremost, most of the time we always talk about black cat energy to attract the person that we want to either date, maybe you're just going for a hookup, or maybe you're going for the whole kit and caboodle and you are ready to get married, girly. If that's the case, then yes, black cat energy all the way. That is how you're going to get him to chase you, how you're going to start setting the stage for more of a, you know, flowers all the time, being spoiled, princess treatment type of vibe. I go over black cat energy a lot throughout these podcasts. So if you're really wanting to activate black cat energy, then go watch any of those episodes. There'll obviously be more. And when that happens, I'm there for it. But here's the thing. If you are black cat energy all the time, you're constantly Miss Independent, doing my own thing, not necessarily cuddly. Think about the black cat, like very mysterious, don't know necessarily what's going on. If you're always like that, it's going to be really hard for you to maintain a healthy relationship with somebody. Versus if you can learn to master between your black cat energy and your white cat energy, or your dark feminine and your light feminine, you'll be able to not only get the man that you want, but also keep him and be in that happy, just lighthearted relationship, the peaceful, the relaxing, soft type of era. If you are stuck in that black cat energy, there's going to be this constant feeling of being on guard, especially whenever it comes to you. If you feel like this is a natural process for you to be in your black cat energy, that gets exhausting. And the whole goal is not for you to just get the guy, it's for you, in this case, to be happy with said guy. And for him to be happy too, right? Healthy relationships, everyone should be happy. With that, you can kind of see how things are starting to come together over here. You need to master flipping the switch. How do you really easily flip between the dark black cat energy, the dark feminine, to the light, airy, white cat energy? Now, if you've ever seen a white cat, they tend to be a little bit more fluffy, and they tend to be more approachable and cuddly, and instantly just fun. That is white cat energy. You're not competing. You already know that you're super adorable and that you're playful, you're fun, easygoing. You're just there for the flow. You're there for the ride. I definitely want to compare it to yoga. I consider the yang type of practices, more of the Ashtanga, more of the hot yoga, to be definitely more of the Black cat energy, it's a lot of power, it's a lot of independence, it's a lot of strength and stability. Versus when I think of like a restorative class or a yin class, I think of that more peaceful, going with the slow vibes, happy energy. And that is how you can really see how we need both. Because if you want to be able to understand yourself more, self-discovery, develop a good self-concept, you need both of these. You can't just reject one. Something I absolutely loved that my yoga instructor shared with me, maybe on Tuesday of this week, right now it's Friday, is if you cannot learn to embrace all of it, your dark and your light, you are rejecting both of them. I'm going to say that one more time because I thought it was so powerful when she said it. If you cannot learn to accept and love both parts, both your light and your dark, the things that you don't like about yourself, the things that you absolutely love about yourself, you are actually rejecting both parts. No bueno, right? And so think of that when it comes to your feminine energy as well. You are rejecting one, actually rejecting both. So embrace it. Let's go for it. All right. So first question is, you're like, okay, I've been working on my dark energy. He's interested. He's, giving me the type of treatment that I enjoy, that I like, that I've been deserving of, right? But this is not where I want to stay. And I'm maybe being a little too hard to get, you could say. And if that's the case, then it is time to switch to your light. I recommend switching to your light energy or your white cat energy around date number 9. Now, if you're already in a relationship by date number 9, then you can go ahead and bypass that rule and skip straight into a little bit more of that white cat energy, that more playful, loving, cuddly type of energy. But if you aren't quite there yet, that's okay. You do the math. That's about 2 months into dating this person that you're going to activate a little bit of that white cat energy. Now, if you are, caveats, dating someone that's quite resistant to commitment or afraid of commitment, then I'm going to actually bump that number up to 3 months. So you're looking closer at 12 dates in that case. So this is the type of general rules that I want to give you for activating that black hat to white hat energy. There's a lot of science behind that. I go into the psychotherapy of it, but for now, I'm going to ask you to just trust me on that one, and I'll do a different episode that goes into this of it. Okay, so now you get the numbers. When you start to activate your white cat energy, I need you not to make it like a dramatic switch. Have you ever heard the saying, if a frog is put into a pot of water and it's super hot, it'll jump right out versus a slow boil? Turns out that saying's actually completely false, but we're going to use it for the metaphor. You want to be very slow in this transfer, because while you definitely are still being authentic to yourself, you're being very real, if you switch it automatically, it's going to confuse the daylights out of them, okay? Don't want that. You want them to stay in a healthy, calm, masculine energy. And if they get confused, guess what's happened? You'll get confused because you're still in your feminine energy. We're starting to get these mixed signals. It will be a mess. So do these steps very slowly. For instance, if you start just saying, I love you every single time that you see him out of nowhere when you've been kind of, that black cat energy, if they get really confused and be like, this is moving to X, Y, and Z, right? So beware of that. Go slow. Go with the flow. All right. So how are you going to transfer that within yourself, actually, is probably the next step. So I want you to actually do a little bit of a pros and then cons type of list. But instead of pros and cons, I want you to put light and dark and really dive into which of these qualities you naturally want to have in both cases. For instance, I am a little bit of a Susie homemaker, I like to bake. I like to, make the bed. I'm very much nurture type of light cat energy or that motherly type of energy. Or if you go back on my last episode, I went into the different types of just seduction women. And I will fall more into the Marilyn Monroe type of ingenuine type of energy, just that playful, like here's my Marilyn skirt actually that I'm wearing, very light, right? And girlish, white cat energy. Some people don't have that. That's perfectly okay. You need to master which one belongs to you. Again, if you don't know that one, then go back and check it out. You'll be able to figure it out as I go through it. It's only like 15 minutes. It's worth it. So, nonetheless, my white cat energy is very playful, very, kind of little air is what I would call her. And then also a little bit more motherly. Now, let's say I'm not balanced with my black cat energy. How's that going to manifest, right? Well, it's going to manifest as being a little bit like his mom, right? Taking care of him, picking up after him. I don't want that. They don't need that. Even if they say they want something like that or they expect it, they don't actually want that. They don't need a mom. They have a mom, right? And you don't need to be their mom. So that is kind of how you find the balance with that. So find the positive and negative qualities of each of these attraction types or seduction types, and just be very cognizant of where you're falling when it comes to that. Okay, so another way that I would kind of activate this is, okay, my black cat energy is very much mysterious. I am someone, and I actually said this to my partner when we were doing our morning walk this morning, that I'm very private, except for you can find out a lot about me online, through my books, through podcasts, XYZ. But he didn't actually look at any of that stuff when we first started dating, which I actually loved. I thought was very respectful. He wanted to get to know me for me. And he found that a little bit difficult because I'm not someone that shares everything about myself right away. For instance, he knew that I liked yoga, but he didn't know where I went for yoga. He didn't know when I attended yoga or anything like that. He just knows that I really love yoga. He knew that I wrote books and that I'm an author, right? But I never actually discussed what my books were about. Or, he's pretty smart. He could find them online, figure it out himself. But I let him go do that. That's part of the attraction. That's part of the chase, right? Versus when I'm in my white cat energy, it's more like, hey, like, I love doing this. You like yoga. How about we go together? Here's a studio. I think it's going to be, cute. I go here if you want to join me, right? That was not right off the bat whatsoever. Because remember, black cat energy lets him do the chasing, lets him be attracted to you, lets him come forward to fill in the gap, to fill in the space. Okay? So I didn't do that until around 3 months, where I was like, okay, I'm actually flipping into more of the white cat cuddly energy, the let's go play, let's have a good time, let's smile, let's grow, personal growth together, self-motivating type of energy. So if you do that right away, again, it's going to backfire on you. If you wait, you're going to look like somebody that has like fun ideas and fun experiences lined up for the relationship, which ideally means that you'll be happy, right? Okay. So kind of some steps there that you can look into. What else can we help out here with? All right, flipping a switch. So what about if he just turns around and he doesn't like the white cat energy, right? When you start being more goofy, more jokes, stuff like that, and he either is not confused or just not as attracted. Okay, 2 things to explore. First thing is your sense of humor the same with this person? If it's not, then okay, long term, this might not be the best relationship for you. Because wouldn't you want to be with somebody that has the same type of general hobbies, likes, dislikes, sense of humor as you? That doesn't matter to you, okay? Whole different conversation, skip it. But something to consider for long term is actually about like what you want. That's the black cat energy, right? You're settling for something. This is what you want in your life. Now, let's say that you're like, okay, it's similar, but it's just weird. Like it's not really hitting home like I think it should. That might be a little bit more of, okay, I'm adjusting to change. Men are always seeking that freedom. Like if you make them really feel free all the time, they are always going to come back. It was going to change. So you could be slower again, as far as you opening up yourself, revealing the best parts of yourself. Or you could approach it from, okay, am I oversharing? Is this just not the right audience? If you really like this guy and you want to keep him in your life and, have a long relationship, he's the boyfriend, he's the husband, he's the fiance. He's not going to fit every single category of your life. And that is one of the more significant things whenever I'm coaching couples or, doing any type of psychotherapy practice with somebody. It's not healthy for you to put everything on one person. Let them fill the role that they have. Go make girlfriends. Go have friends. Go talk to your parents. Whatever, right? If you put everything into one person, it could collapse. The relationship will collapse. It doesn't matter how strong it is. It doesn't matter how long you've been together. It's not healthy. And you need to have other humans in your life to explore different topics with and to be able to share things with. So if you really like this person, but some of these qualities that you want to express, they just don't hit home. For instance, he didn't like yoga whatsoever. I wouldn't force him to go do it, right? It's like, I will call up one of my girlfriends or I'll go make friends at the studio. Like, there's no reason to force somebody to do things that you don't like. You don't like a certain type of genre of movies. Okay, well, don't force them to watch that. Just find something that either you guys both can get on board with or watch it privately. I think a lot of people put so much into we have to be watching the same thing, the same series, X, Y, and Z. Yeah, some people are perfectly okay if you're watching something on your phone or your tablet and they're watching the big game, right? Not particularly in the football, but just watching that, I might be, listening to some type of meditation course or watching some episode series that I like. So it's still polytone. It still is very much soft feminine. You're not trying to control anything. You're going with the flow. And that will still allow you to be in that gentle white cat energy rather than a black cat would just leave the room and, go and do their own thing. Which, again, there's a time and place for that, but not if you're in your white cat energy. Oh. All right, what else can I do to help with this black cat to white cat energy for the moment? Obviously, there's the aesthetic. If you want to activate more of a light energy, then wear bright pastels, more whites, more silvers, less golds, less black, that type of thing. And it's color theory. I love color theory. White cat energy is really focused on white, but also pinks, yellows, and then pastel blues, kind of like the top that I'm wearing right now. White cat energy, you have the wave of the hair or the curls versus straight down, that's more black cat, or even having your hair up is more black cat energy. So you can start thinking about aesthetically. I'm getting my nails done here in a couple of hours, but red nails are very black cat energy, which I do plan to have even though I'm wearing the white cat energy outfit today. It's also the color of seduction. You can look up the red color nail theory. It's pretty amazing, the psychology behind that. So what you may also see is I'm still having this kind of lower cut with this vest. That is a feminine cut. So it doesn't necessarily make it white or black cat energy. It just makes it more feminine. And you can definitely capture the feminine aesthetic within just the color theory and mixing and matching. I plan to wear some pink boots with this outfit, but I do have some black leather boots that I can easily switch, and then suddenly the entire outfit energy changes. So if you are having issues kind of activating one or the other, switch up your makeup, switch up your actual physical outfit, and that will help with the psychology of your brain to be able to transfer into that. Pink lips, white cat energy, red lips, dark cat energy, black cat energy. Ooh, so we hit color theory in this episode. I didn't see that coming. All right, what else can we kind of touch here with? Oh, text and calling. So when it comes to switching over into your more white cat energy versus black cat energy for texting, you still don't want to be the one sending really, really long messages. If you've been in a relationship for a really, really long time, like let's say 6 months plus, or if you are in a relationship that's not stagnant, it's just very peaceful, happy times, then send whatever message you want to send. You can completely disregard this part. But that is more white cat energy. Men pick up on that so well, you'd be amazed. I stopped sending emojis and messages that were longer than 2 sentences. Just, kind of see what happens or whatnot for a couple of weeks. And he picked up on it so fast. I didn't even make it for 2 weeks. Like around a week in, and again, we lived together. He was just like, why is your texting changing? Like, what's up with that? Tell me about that, right? Because men do pick up on those things, but you may not realize that because you're not realizing what energy you're actually bringing out whenever you change your communication. So lots of emojis, lots of smiling, lots of ha 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 and LOLs is white cat energy. If you want to add a couple of those extra, if you feel like this guy doesn't even know that you're into him, that's a good way to do it. That is the opposite, though, of black cat energy. Black cat energy is very short. It is very precise. There is no emojis. Like, you may throw in a ha, every 3 or 4 messages or something like that, just to kind of set the stage. But also a black cat energy may text in the morning for like a couple messages, and then she goes and she does her own thing. She goes to work, she goes and takes care of herself, she goes to yoga, whatever, and then text, that evening. That is very black cat energy and highly recommended if you want to get a guy to start taking you a little bit more seriously and start valuing your time more. Phone calls. Black cats don't call. They don't call. They don't even call back, to be honest with you. There was this episode on How I Met Your Mother where J-Lo was kind of playing the black cat, and she was like, no, just say no all the time and see what type of influence that is. That was definitely a dramatization. It was not something I would be like, hey, if you actually want to date this guy, you should do that. But it doesn't hurt to help a guy see that you're not available 24/7 and that you do have a life and that you are taking care of yourself. So very different from white cat energy, especially if you find yourself as someone that sends long paragraphs about how your day was, what you ate for breakfast, and XYZ. Just don't. And if you are like that, okay, fine. Here is your permission slip. Your permission slip is you can send photos. Men are visual creatures, okay? And there's that whole saying that says a photo can say like 1,000 words. Okay, let that be your 1,000 words. You can send a photo, right? You look super cute today. Smile, pose, send. Okay? That can still be white cat energy, still get you that fix as far as like, okay, I want to speak to him, I want to talk, I miss him, XYZ. And that's way bigger of a fix. They get way more of a reaction than a huge long paragraph. Nobody wants to read that. And if you really are somebody that's high value, you don't really have the time to send those on a regular basis. Okay? So there you go. From just when you're supposed to switch over from white cat or from black cat to white cat, those were kind of your timelines, how to do the aesthetic, how to do the communication, how to capture the energy just completely on your own. And the only other thing I want to say is don't be afraid to go back and forth. Like, in fact, I highly encourage you to find a rhythm that really works for your relationship, that really balances it out. Because when you find the balance, that's when you're going to see the most results. And every relationship is different. And also every single natural gradient where you fall is different for each woman. So discover yourself first and then apply that, see how it works in the relationship, what fits. My man is a very, not a man of a lot of words, but soulful creature, which is kind of a paradox at times. But he's not as emotional and expressive as I am. So I have to kind of meet that energy in a flow. And then when he's feeling super expressive or feeling super cuddly or super loving, I can lean in a little bit if I want to be white cat. Or if I'm not feeling that type of energy, I can lean out. And still, he will lean in. And now I'm getting that cuddly, loving time that every girly wants, right? So that's how you do that. If you find that your long-term relationship is getting a little bit more stagnant in that case, then flip back over to your black cat energy, right? Go work on a book or go to yoga or, and I'll listen to a few more episodes on this podcast. Flip back over into your black cat energy and you'll see him lean back in. Like sometimes, and this really depends on what type of man you're dating, you'll have to do that way more often. Versus others, if you have a more kind of sensitive, poetic, expressive male, which actually really defines my ex more than my current partner, then you don't have to do that as much because they're always leaning in. Versus if you find a partner that's a little bit more reserved, than a few words type of energy, then you might have to flip into the black cat way more often. Which is not a bad thing if you're enjoying the relationship. It's just a matter of understanding the dynamics of your relationship. So there you go. That is how you flip from black to white cat energy, dark feminine to white feminine or light feminine. And now you can just breathe. I'm ready. You're ready. And that is black cat energy. Plus white.